Hi there, is this video on? I actually can't see because I haven't got my reading glasses. So I am in beautiful Whitstable. I came here yesterday for just a bit of peace and quiet and just to get away from life for a day. It's like my spiritual home here, and I'm in the sea and I'm about to have a little proper swim in a minute. Yeah, it's stunning here, and it is definitely one of my many spiritual homes. It actually has made me think, you know, girls are going to be grown up in a couple of years' time. Do I move down this way, or then again do I go out to my mum and dad's in Malaga? But I pulled 2 cards yesterday and I made a video, but I watched it back and it was so windy yesterday and so blowy that you can't hear a lot of it, so I thought I'd make this one today because it's calm. I felt really great yesterday. I was really happy. I had a great day. I just really did nothing, sit on the beach, eat lots of seafood, chilled. It was really nice. Today has been a bit more of a difficult morning, and I've got some important decisions to make this week. But so the 2 cups I pulled yesterday the 2 cards I pulled yesterday were the Ace of Cups and the 3 of Cups, which was so flipping apt. I'm down by the sea, I'm in the water. I love the water, I love the sea. A lot of people don't like the sea, do they? My mum hates the sea. I love the sea. I love being out in nature, whether it's running, whether it's being in the sea swimming. But the sea and the cards of the cups are all about emotions, relationships, the heart, feelings, all of that kind of thing. And so what it brought up for me to want to talk about yesterday was being heart-led. So our heart is the most important endocrine gland in the body. Well, when I say important, as in for feelings and emotions. And believe it or not, the heart gives off an electromagnetic field that is much, much stronger and more powerful than the brain. So we all have an electromagnetic field around us, and what that is like determines us, really. So, you know, if you're pretty balanced, if your chakras are balanced, if you're happy, if you're in a good place, then your electromagnetic field is going to be of good vibration. Equally, if you're unbalanced, if your chakras aren't balanced, if you're angry, if you're stressed, if you're, you know, all those negative type of emotions and feelings, then your electromagnetic field can let in things that maybe you don't want to be let in, negativity. You know, it protects us, the electromagnetic field, and it also connects us to everyone and everything else around us. So literally everything has an electromagnetic field. Those stones on the beach have one, the water has one, that seagull swimming there has one, the trees have one. We all have an electromagnetic field. So our heart is a very important part of our body. We wouldn't be living without it. But what is so important about our heart is what we have lost a lot in society now, is that we are not living very often from our heart. And so years ago, you know, back in times where we didn't have what we have now and people relied on their instincts, cavemen, indigenous people and such, we were heart-led. We were more communities, we were more tribes, and life was kinder then. Now, we're not taught to be heart-led anymore. We're not taught in schools to be heart-led. Our leaders are not very often heart-led. They're all led by logic, by their brain, by their head, often by greed, often by force, often by manipulation. So being heart-led, which is obviously the way we would like to move forward, and what everything that's just happened and is currently happening, i.e. COVID, all the problems we're having, the war, this, as I've said previously, I feel is coming up to the surface and being out there so much more. People are realising so much more how we cannot continue this way. And as awful as it is right now, this is happening for a very good reason. And it was meant to happen when it's happening, and that is now. The planet is shifting, we are shifting vibrationally as beings, and we can either make this work or not. And it's almost a bit like good against evil, you know, it really is in a way. But going back to the heart and water and the element of water and the cups in tarot, we're relational beings. When we are conceived and when our heart starts to be created, something called, oh my God, there you go. There I go again, forgetting stuff. There are little cells that are called pacemaker cells, there you go. And they are what builds our heart. Now they're all in cohesion with each other. They will all work in harmony with each other, and they are what create our electromagnetic field. Now, there have been studies done where they have taken one of those pacemaker cells and they've put it on its own. What do you think happens to that pacemaker cell when it's on its own? It starts to wither, it starts to die. They've then introduced 2 of the healthy pacemaker cells from whatever they've used for the experiment near to that pacemaker cell that's been on its own for a period of time. And almost immediately it has started to rejuvenate, to vitalise, is that a word, vitalise? To revitalise. And it's become healthy again. So we need community, we need the feelings of touch and emotion and love from each other. And that's where I hope we are being pushed as humanity, because our leaders and the people in authority are, well, clearly the ones we're looking at now that me and you who might be watching this video know about. They're not heart-led, are they? They're led by greed, they're led by all the things that are not conducive to a kind, fair and happy life. And we're being pushed to be more heart-led, and we're being pushed to go back to nature, to go back to... We've lost our connection with nature, haven't we? I mean, how many of us... I do connect with nature a lot, but there was a lot of years I didn't for living in a flat in the city. Even if you do live in a flat in a city, you can have a little window box and you can get out to the parks, absolutely. But if and when we start to become more at one with nature and more heart-led, the world is going to be a very better place. And I kind of look at emotions and water as the sort of conscious and subconscious, and the conscious mind sort of, you can only process, I don't know, 5 things at a time in your conscious mind, whereas the subconscious mind holds literally every single thing we've ever thought, done, experienced, and collectively we connect to the consciousness of all those around us, which is why studies again have shown that when groups of Buddhists have got together in very sort of aggressive and places, ghetto type places where there's a lot of crime, and they have meditated on peace, love and compassion over a period of time together, those places, the crime rate has actually gone down in them. This has been done time and time again. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, all his books I've read, all about heart coherence, heart consciousness. People are healing themselves from from illnesses that they were told they had so many months to live, through meditating on the heart and concentrating on healing and getting better, and doing it in groups works even more so. So what I'm saying in this video, looking at this beautiful water, so calm and peaceful, that I'm about to get right in my swimming costume. I got my swimming costume underneath, I promise. Is water holds feeling, water holds emotion. I talked about that in my trauma video. And if we don't let ourselves feel those feelings that are trapped in our fascia, in our body, then we become ill. Now, the New Age theory would be, no, don't think anything negative, never let anything negative come up. Positivity, to a point, yeah. If we can mind our mind, watch our thoughts and feelings, and keep us positive and on the visualization of what we want and where we want to be, that's where we'll go. But we've got to deal with our shadows first. We've got to deal with what's holding us back before we can actually get to that point. Because if we've got unresolved trauma trapped in our cellular body that we have not processed into the past, we're not going to be the best version of ourselves, successful, abundant, and all those things that we're all striving for, right? Another really amazing study that I want to tell you about while I'm in, it just feels so good, the sand under my feet, although it's a bit stony at Whitstable. Getting into the sea, you look like a right dick, don't you? Like, what's that film with Dudley Moore when he's on the beach? That's so funny. Trying to show off to. Anyway, you look an idiot getting in the beach when it's stony. But anyway, where was I? So this other experiment, Dr. Emoto, please look him up on YouTube or on the internet and read about him, or read some of his books. He did a lot of studies on water, and he did things like froze 2 jars of water. Got 2 jars of water, put them in a classroom situation with some kids. He wrote on one jar, "I hate you, you're ugly, you're disgusting." And he wrote on the other jar, "I love you, you're beautiful." Compassionate words, kind words. And then he said to the kids, "I'm going to play a little game. I want you to play a little game. That jar, when you go past it, I want you to really say the worst things as if it was somebody that you really didn't like." And as the kids went past it, with their emotion and from their feelings, they would be saying, "You're ugly, I hate you." Sounds horrible, right? And then with the other jar, please tell me this is recording, and then we can't see a thing because these sunglasses haven't got prescription in. And then with the other jar, it said, the kids were going past, and I think he said to them something like, "Imagine it's your teddy bear or your kitten or somebody you really love," and they would say like, "I love you, you're so pretty, I want to cuddle you," all really lovely things. Those 2 jars got frozen. The one that was sent the loving words, the compassionate words, the kind words, came back crystallized with the most beautiful, like snowflake crystals. They were all in harmony, coherent, i.e., they were all symmetrical. It was amazing. The other jar, the water had frozen in a really ugly way. It was all jagged. There was even it looked like tormented faces in the frozen glass. It really did. Now, that was done over and over again, that experiment. It wasn't a one-off. They also did it with rice, and the rice with the jar that was given nice, beautiful, kind words and thoughts, it was stayed healthy and vibrant, and the other jar of rice was all rancid and it'd all gone off and it was all disgusting. So we're bridging science with spirituality here, and I know a lot of people do not believe this stuff, but it's being proven scientifically. Your thoughts aren't in your head, they are out here. They're putting these things on your head now. I can't remember what they're called, but they measure your brain activity, your mind activity, and they're not even on your head, right? So that proves that we are not all in our head. It's all connected out here. And this electromagnetic field that our beautiful heart produces, it goes for miles around us. And so when you imagine everybody's on a heart, compassionate, loving vibration, and all this energy from our electromagnetic fields is connecting with each other. Imagine how life would be, imagine how the world would be. And I bet you might say, well, that's not going to happen, is it? We're not going to have, you know, all these people and nasty, awful, terrible leaders and the psychopaths and all that around the world doing that. Well, maybe we can. You know, if we don't believe it, it's never going to happen. Maybe we can change things up. Maybe if enough people start doing this work and doing it collaboratively together, then the world can become a much better place, because that is what we're heading to if we do the right thing. Three of Cups today. I wish I'd got the cards with me, but I'm on the beach. Three of Cups is about love. It's about unity. It can be about you meeting a new lover, or a new romantic partner, or it can be you meeting up with an old past lover and getting it back together. It can be about communities working together in a compassionate way, like what I was just talking about. It's a culmination of something you've started that's coming to fruition with communities, with each other. And the other cards I got was the Ace of Cups again, which is all about relationships, emotions and feelings. The Ace of Cups is Aphrodite, uprising. She was born out of the waves of the sea. It's a very odd story, so I'm not going to tell it all. And she was the most beautiful woman in the world. She was very in touch with her femininity, with her feelings, with her emotions. She was a bit of a bitch as well. She had her jealous side. She had her she would cause a lot of trouble with men in love. So, you know, there's two sides to everything. It's not always all good emotions. I've had a bit of a difficult emotional morning this morning, with my kids, usual. But I've also got some other things coming up, decisions I've got to make today, which I've got to take the emotion away from them. So this full moon eclipse has brought a lot up for me. I don't know if it has for you, and it hasn't all been great, and some of it has been great. We are in this difficult energy for a while, but like I say, I really believe sort of come June time things are going to be getting better if you see it from the way the planets are, which I do. But it's also the decisions we make, how we are to each other, you know, how we function and operate with the people around us, with business, and if we are doing things from a heart-led life or just from a strategic, greedy, logical-led life. Nothing wrong with being strategic and logical, but come on, let's use our heart a bit more. Can you imagine if, you know, the people up in power were actually making their decisions a bit more from their hearts rather than from money making and more power for themselves and their shareholders and their CEOs and whatever else. So yeah, probably gone on, can't see how long I've gone on for because I can't see, but I'm going to get into the sea now, have a swim, connect with nature. Did I want to say anything else? No, not really. Just have a good week, and over and out.